Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. As you can see, it is a lovely fall day here in the Northland. So the furry felons are out here. They're back there somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for anything untoward they do in the background. But the furry felons and I are out here enjoying this lovely weather. But before I get into what we're gonna do today, y'all go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. So like I said, the felons are back there running around. They don't know that we've got groceries coming. So I'm gonna let them run around for another little minute, and then I'm gonna wrangle them up and get them inside because y'all, like I said, it is a lovely fall day right now, but before too long it's gonna get cold here. And I wanna have some yummy fall foods in the freezer so that when it gets cold, sorry about that, we're just gonna ignore that and it's gonna stop because we're not gonna pay it any mind. So I want to have some yummy fall foods in the freezer for when the weather gets cold. So that's what we're going to do today. I need to do a workout, as usual. My hamstrings are killing me, so I'm going to do a workout and a stretch. And then I want to get something in the oven, in the crock pot somewhere that I can freeze and thaw out when I just want something like hearty and yummy to eat. Y'all hear that? Now the Air Force is flying over my head. So let me wrap this up. I'm gonna get us inside, get set up to wait for the groceries to get here. I'll show you what we get for groceries and then I'll tell you what we're gonna cook, all right? So y'all sit tight. Let me get us somewhere where it's more quiet and we can talk about what we're gonna do. All right, y'all, we have groceries. We actually have sort of a combination of things here. So I've kind of tried to organize it, but y'all know how that goes when I start talking and things get moved around and get jumbled up. So I'm just going to jump straight in and start talking about what we have. So let's start over here with frozen fruit. So I got the standard mixed fruit and blueberries, and y'all know that I portion these off sort of one at a time, like one portion at a time, not one piece of fruit at a time. One portion at a time into single-sized servings, and then I let those thaw and put them in the fridge, and then I eat those with my non-fat Greek yogurt that I eat as part of my breakfast in the morning. So I have thawed out frozen fruit and non-fat plain Greek yogurt every morning, and all of that together is 0 points. And with that, I have half a cup of plain Cheerios. Y'all, I had an absolute panic the other day because I just sort of randomly spot check to make sure that things are still the point counts that I think they are. So I looked up Cheerios and it came up like 4 points for half, no, it was like 2 points, I think, for half a cup. And I was like, blah. So I was like, well, I'll just count the points, whatever. But I was thinking, I've been telling y'all for ages that it's 1 point for half a cup. It is 1 point for half a cup. I looked up multigrain Cheerios, not regular Cheerios. I eat the regular Cheerios, not the fancy multigrain ones. So half a cup of regular Cheerios with half a cup of plain, unsweet almond milk is 1 point for the Cheerios, no points for the almond milk, so that's breakfast. Y'all know I keep protein snacks around all the time. So I keep this fully cooked strips of chicken in the fridge, and I'll just grab those and just eat them straight out of the bag when I'm hungry and don't feel like making anything, and frankly don't even feel like peeling an egg. I'll just eat some of those and go on my way. I got eggs. Ooh, my eggs are open. I got eggs. Now those I will boil because I have other eggs in the fridge for like making eggy stuff with, but I keep boiled eggs all the time, so I'll just boil or pressure cooker cook those 18 eggs. I got some ground turkey. You'll see what we're going to do with that. Got some fruit, which I also eat for breakfast. These are like the greenest bananas ever made in the world of green bananas. But I got some bananas, some apples. I have some oranges in here somewhere. So these I will eat with my breakfast. I don't tend to eat fruit alone as a snack because I think I mentioned before, I don't know why, but fruit sometimes just makes me more hungry unless I eat it with some protein or something sort of bulky. So fruit I will eat with, well, these I will eat with my breakfast or with a snack. If I'm eating something else like yogurt or a Built Bar or something, Throw some fruit on that for a good snack. Tomatoes. I've been using these little Roma, I think, are these Roma tomatoes? I keep calling them Roma tomatoes because I think it makes me sound cool. I don't know what kind of tomatoes they are, but they're the little ones. So I'll slice up one little tomato and throw it on a sandwich. Speaking of sandwiches, I got me some sandwich bread. Y'all, I love this bread. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this. It's probably not pronounced lovin', but I call it lovin'. 45 calorie a slice bread, so it's 2 points for 2 slices. I have me some bread, and then I'll throw a couple of different meats on my sandwich. I use turkey. I don't know why I'm moving the stuff to me instead of moving to the stuff, because now I've got a huge pile of stuff. But anyway, turkey, it's 0 points, but I count a point just because I feel like I need to. So I put turkey and ham on my sandwich with some lettuce and tomatoes. That's a really good sandwich, y'all. I use mustard and then that fat-free ranch dip that we make with non-fat Greek yogurt and powdered ranch dip. Just mix those together with a little bit of garlic salt or onion salt, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, something to cut that sweetness. I use that in place of mayonnaise. So I throw that on my bread, throw some mustard on my bread, meat, tomatoes, lettuce, 2 slices of bread. Again, I count it as 4 points. It's really just 3 because the turkey is no points, but it's a really big sandwich. So I count 4 points. And with some carrot chips dipped in the ranch dip, that's a 4-point lunch, and it's very filling. Anyway, let's get back to what else we got. Got some imitation crab meat. Y'all know I love this. I think it's 1 point per ounce. I meant to get, I thought I ordered the, cracks me up, they call them legs, but it's like sticks of imitation crab meat. So fish that's flavored like crab, formed into crab leg looking things. I know, I don't even care. It's yummy, it's protein, it's low points. I got some black-eyed peas. Y'all, you have to be careful with your black-eyed peas because some have points and some don't. Some have points and some don't. As I'm looking at them, these might be no points, but I'm going to scan it and make sure before I use them. So I got black-eyed peas. I got Great Northern beans. These are white beans. I got white kidney beans. I got cannellini beans, which I often call the wrong names. I got pinto beans, which I might or might not use. I'm not sure yet. I got some green chilies. And I got a whole bunch of different kinds of tomatoes. I got regular tomatoes, and I got, so like regular diced tomatoes. And then I got diced tomatoes with onion and garlic and something. Basil, garlic, and oregano. No onion. So we're going to cook something with all of that. We'll talk about that in a minute. What else did we get? Oh, Egg Life wraps, 0 points. Y'all, these are fantastic. Okay, they're not fantastic, but they're 0 points. So I'll often just cook chicken in the air fryer, throw it in an Egg Life wrap with some no-fat ranch dip and some salsa. All of that together is 0 points. Eat as many of those as you want. I got the Lovin' Carb Control tortillas. I meant to get the little ones, but I got the big ones instead. These are 2 points for a whole tortilla. Now I said before, I think I said, I thought it, and I'm not sure if I said it or not, but these carb control tortillas are a little bit weird to me. But then I thought about it, and y'all, it has been so long since I've eaten a regular flour tortilla. These might not be weird at all. That might just be how tortillas are. And I'm so used to eating these weird egg things that I've forgotten what an actual like real tortilla tastes or like feels like. So anyway, those are 2 points. I got some pitas. These Joseph's Flax, Oat Bran, and Whole Wheat pitas, they're 1 point per pita. It's like 1 point for the whole pita, and they're really good. So they're a little bit thin. We've talked about this before. Y'all, excuse my dog. He sees a chipmunk in the backyard and he's losing his mind. So that's what you're hearing. If you're hearing that screaming in the background, that's what that is. So it's 1 point for a whole pita. And The actual pita-ness of it is a little bit thin, but for 1 point, I can work my way around that. I also got more of the Joseph's flatbreads. Remember we got these to make that pizza on that time? And I've grown to really like them. It's 1 point for this whole flatbread. So I'll heat them up in the oven, make some, like, cook some ground turkey or throw some chicken in the air fryer. Throw them on here with some ranch dip and some salsa, maybe some lettuce and tomato, so that the only point is that 1 point you get for this whole flatbread. And y'all, that's a really good dinner. Now they can get a little bit dry, so be careful when you warm them up. And I made the mistake of warming mine up too much sometimes and they get like crispy, and then you can't roll them up to like make whatever you're trying to make with them. So be careful of that. But other than that, I feel like it's a really good option for like throwing protein in to make a meal. So y'all, that's it for the groceries. I'm gonna put these all away before everything melts. Then I need to do that workout that I've been talking about for like the past hour. I'm gonna do, I don't know, I'm gonna do some kind of core workout, and then I'm gonna do a yoga stretch. Because like I said, my hamstrings are killing me. So let me get this put up, let me go do my workout, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about what we're gonna make. I think I'm gonna make something resembling a taco soup with lots of protein. So lots of beans, maybe that ground turkey, and I've got some chicken thawing over there. So maybe like chicken in the oven or chicken in the crock pot, shred that up. Turkey, beans, tomatoes, garlic, onion, seasoning, I don't know. But now I'm getting hungry and I still have to work out. So let me do this, let me work out. I'll come back and we'll figure out what we're gonna make. All right, so y'all sit tight and or y'all go work out, I'll go work out. We'll reconvene after and see how we do, all right? So I'll meet y'all back here in a few minutes. Oh, that's done. Wasn't pretty. Might have been a little more wobbling than I intended, but everybody survived. So I'm gonna go inside and throw that chicken in the oven, maybe with some onion and garlic. Let it slow cook in there for a couple of hours, and then we will reconvene and talk about putting together a taco soup. So let me get the chicken going, let me get cleaned up some, and I'll come back and we'll talk about what we're gonna do, all right? So y'all sit tight and I'll be back. All right, y'all, I got myself cleaned up. I got the taco soup going in the oven. Now let me tell you what I've done. Let me try to remember. Hang on, let me get y'all set up so I can think. Because I can't think and walk and talk and move and do all the things at once. So let me think about what I did. Like I told you, I was gonna put the chicken in the oven, so I did that. I got 2 chicken breasts, just put them in a big old pot with some onion, I think I put a little bit of salt on it. Let me go ahead and say this from the jump, y'all. I forgot to put garlic at all in this taco soup. So if there are vampires around, we're in for it, because this taco soup is not going to protect us, but it'll be all right. So I put the chicken in the oven at 250 and let it cook for about 2 hours. Took it out and it was perfect. Shredded it up, put it back in the big old pot. Then I had browned that 1 pound of 99% lean turkey. Threw that in with the chicken, mixed it up, and then I started just throwing in stuff. I threw in 2 cans of diced tomatoes. One of them was fire roasted diced tomatoes, and the other was one of the ones I showed you earlier. It was from Aldi, that tomatoes with basil, garlic, and whatever other stuff. Basil. There's garlic in there. Okay, whew. Vampires come, we got them. Vampire. There's not vampire in my tomatoes. Garlic, basil, and oregano maybe. Anyway, threw that in there. So 2 cans of tomatoes. Then I started throwing in beans. I threw in some Great Northern White beans, some cannellini beans, which I think are like white pinto beans or something. I don't know, they're white some kind of beans. So cannellini beans, regular old pinto beans, stirred them up. Then I decided I wanted more stuff in there. So I put in more of those cannellini beans because they're like big, but they're kind of mushy, so they thicken stuff up. So I put in a second can of those and a second can of tomatoes. Mixed all that up. I'm trying to remember what all I put in, y'all. Put in a couple cans of diced chilies. Then I threw in half a sweet onion that I diced up kind of small, and a bell pepper, also diced up small. Mixed that in. Then I threw in some corn, because y'all know how I like corn and stuff. And I meant to like gradually add the corn, but it got a little out of hand. So I just dumped in all the corn, like a 2-pound bag of corn all at once. Mixed that in. Then I threw in some homemade taco seasoning. Now that's got like garlic powder, onion powder, a bunch of stuff in it. So even though I forgot my garlic, which heaven forbid I forgot my garlic, but I forgot to put garlic in the thing, but I put in a bunch of taco seasoning. So that should kick it up a little bit. But anyway, mixed that up and stuck it in the oven. So it's in a 250-degree oven and it's gonna bake in there for a while. Probably gonna let it go for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours because I have stuff to do. I got a book I want to read some of, and y'all, I'm tired. So I'm gonna go work some, and then I'm gonna chill some, and then I'm gonna come back and test this. So I will check back in with y'all when it's time to test and let you know how it comes out. The taco soup is done, y'all, and boy, does it look good. It's been in for right at about 4 hours, and I think it's just about done. Now, of course, everything was done when we put it in there. The only thing that we put in raw was that half an onion and bell pepper. So even if I had pulled it out sooner, it's not like anybody's going to get sick from eating it because the meat was already cooked and everything else was canned, the beans, the tomatoes. So when I say it's done, I mean that it's had time to simmer. So let me give it a taste and see what we got. Oh, it's hot. It's hot, but it's really tasty, y'all. Seems like we have survived without the garlic. Now, as usual, I didn't put either any, or I guess I put a little bit of salt in it. I put salt in both of the meats when I cooked them, but it's not nearly enough with that big old vat of stuff. But as always, when I cook something down like that, I don't want to put salt in it because I don't want to over salt it and then have it cooked down into like a brine. And I can always add salt when I serve. So y'all, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and this is going to be a perfect dinner for me. Now you can add like cheddar cheese to it. I have that fat-free cheddar cheese in there. I could add that. I could add sour cream, or I could make a cornbread or maybe some cornbread muffins, because y'all, this is 0 points. There is nothing in here that has any points other than that tiny bit of olive oil that I used in the very beginning when I cooked the turkey. But other than that, there's no points, and that was maybe, what, 1 point for that whole vat of food. So that's going to come out to 0 points per serving. So even if you add some cornbread or a cornbread muffin to it, you're still probably doing okay points-wise. What I'm going to do is toast one of those Joseph's, is it oat bran and flaxseed pita breads, whatever it is. The Joseph's pita bread that's 1 point per pita. I'm going to have one, maybe two of those, probably one of those, and a big old bowl of this, and call that dinner. And then I'm going to let this cool. Y'all, divide it up into big old bowls and freeze a bunch of them, because I know from past experience that this freezes well. So instead of letting it sit in the fridge and go bad, I'm going to break it up, freeze a bunch of it, and then thaw it out when I want to eat it. So that's my plan for this big old vat of, can y'all see it back there? This big old vat of taco soup that I have on the stove. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you made it this far, we are most definitely friends. So go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with the shenanigans. I upload food and fitness videos the beginning of every week with some book videos sprinkled in between. See you on the next one.